Hey, what's up guys? It is Friday, September 26th. Couple of announcements. The Yak is this coming Sunday night. Be there at 6 o'clock for the evening service. After the evening service ends, we'll go over to the Mims house and have a good time over there, and then be back around 8:30, 8:45, somewhere around in there. And so you don't want to miss that. Be there for that. And then also in October, we have our Night of Terror that's coming up. That's going to be a ton of fun. That's on the 11th. We meet at the church at 5. Go back to our house for some food and hanging out, and then after that we'll go to Trails of Terror down near Indianapolis, and then we'll come back. It'll be a late night, but we are still going to expect everybody to be in church the next day. That way we continue to have the activity. For the teen of the day today is Courtney, and so if you would pray for her. She had a couple prayer requests. The first one was for her boss, and I don't know the whole situation, but just pray for her boss. Also for some family members that she wants us to be praying for, and then also for employees and her coworkers at work. There was something that happened at work that the entire staff needs prayer for. So would you pray for her today? Also pray for her schoolwork and her devotional life with the Lord and fellowship with the Lord, that it would be sweet and that she would have a great day today. If you can, text her, let her know you're praying for her. That would sure be an encouragement to her. Today, the devotional thought is going to come out of James. We've been doing Proverbs, a proverb a day, and honestly, in Proverbs 26, there are a couple verses that sparked this thought, but really the main gist of the matter is going to come out of the book of James. And so, James chapter 2 ends with, and we're not studying this part of James, but James chapter 2 ends with the idea of the faith versus works section. And a lot of people try and take that out of context, but really what it's saying is that we are saved by faith, but if we have faith, our works should show that we have faith. So the way I live, the things I do, I should act differently than I did before I was saved. And so that's the idea of that. And so it's this idea of, if you're saved, then your works should show your faith. Now, you're not saved by your works, but if you're saved, your works should show that you're saved. That's the point of the end of chapter 2. Then he's going to jump in chapter 3, which is what we're going to study, and he's going to talk about the unruly tongue. Now, he's not necessarily talking about like the tongue as far as just necessarily the tongue, but the idea of our words. In fact, in Matthew 12, verse 34, the Bible tells us that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaketh. And that's the idea of the tongue, of what we say and that idea. So he's going to talk about it here, but in verse 5 is where I really want to focus. He talks about how we put bits in horses' mouths. You know, you put that little bar in there and you yank on it, and it causes the horse to turn one way or another, and it's just a little bit that just goes in on top of the tongue and clamps down on it. Then he talks about, for a ship, the rudder that just, it's a little thing, but it just turns this huge ship. He talks about the tongue is just like that. It's just this little thing, but it directs a lot of action that has consequences. So in verse 5, he says, even so the tongue is a little member, just like that bit or just like that rudder, and boasteth great things. Behold, how great a matter a little fire kindleth. And the tongue is a fire, a world of iniquity. So is the tongue among our members, that it defileth the whole body, and setteth on fire the course of nature, and is set on fire of hell. I want to give you a little illustration on shock therapy extra voltage today. We're getting serious now. I wanted to give you a little bit of an illustration, because when you think about fire, a lot of times we think contained in a fire pit or in a bonfire. It's beautiful, it's fantastic. And honestly, when you think even about, I've got a match here, if you can see that. But even when you think about just a match being lit and there just being a little bit of fire, it's no big deal. But what were to happen if I were to throw this onto the bookcase behind me? And all of a sudden now all the books in the background were now caught on fire, and this place would go up in flame. The point is that something as small as that could start this entire building, the entire church. It could cause the entire church to burn down. Our tongue is just like that. It's just a little member, but it can cause a great fire. So my challenge to you for today and for this weekend is this: watch what you say. Is your tongue starting a fire, or is your tongue being encouraging? You control what you say. Nobody else does. So control it in the right way. Say the right things. Be encouraging. Don't be negative. Let your tongue not set everything on fire. Let it be something that encourages and builds up people. I love you guys. Hope you take the challenge.